just can't close my eyes. Could it be that I've seen too much, way too much? They say being alone can be a dangerous place, but I'm having way too much fun on my own when it's all said and done. I did it for my health. Could have really used some help. I'll keep dancing by myself. Just vibing with my guests. Just 'cause I like to be alone don't mean that I'm lonely. I got way too much to do. Sometimes I'd rather be online playing Call of Duty. Has nothing to do with you. Try to understand. Don't take it personal. I'll just make it weird because I have to sit with this. I did it to myself. Could have really used some help. I'll keep dancing by myself. Just vibing with my guests.
Some poison words, peanut butter jelly spread on the living room floor. Magazines, ladies' porn, losing brain cells by the minute. If you can't hang, baby, I get it. And if you're not a fan, letting it all hang out. I get in line, I see it all the time.
I did this to myself.
You did this to yourself.
I did it to myself. I did it to myself.
One, two, check, I get down and dirty and my sounds are worthy of respect. So I'ma flex my text, it's like a major takeover, jumps past the mic over. Growing more and more nervous when I serve this ass whooping. Coming straight out of Brooklyn, ball head from the old school, born to rule. With more class than Billy D, to a pussy MC, you know a wuss MC. I'm like his worst nightmare when I'm on my killing spree. Vic the Vic, who will it be? Your vote may hold the key, it's up to you. Tell us true, who'll be herb of the day. And when you fake your break, when suckers choose they lose, I'm like lethal. To you and your people, it's like an outrage. When punks step on stage with a weak show, weak flow, and still make dough. So I'ma take dough from them, and then son them, teach them how to really get biz like this. Me and my gang's gonna swarm, brainstorm. Get on it. Get on it. Get on it. It takes at least two to tangle, so you could get strangled from any angle. Cause I get buck on ducks. All the sexy girlies wanna push up close to the man with the most who don't flaunt his ego. Some motherfuckers ain't as gifted. Not everyone can move the crowd and uplift it. I'm swift with this shit like a bullet's trajectory. So don't stand next to me. It's like a warm sensation when my shells hit. You were wrong, you know what you did, so you fell quick. To the pavement, no signs of body movement. See, I knew it, yo, I had to do it. And it's cool to do, but don't slip up, fool, cause I'ma leave you dead and stinking like a cesspool. And all the chicks know what's going on, cause baby, there ain't no sunshine when I'm gone. And you could beg for me to stay and parlay, but sorry, I got to go, got bills to pay. See, by nature, I'm godly. When I touch the mic, it's never too hard for me to let out a mass amount of mad cloud. Me and my gang's gonna swarm, brainstorm. Get up, get on it. Get on it. Get on it. I'm gonna get ya. You might be bigger than me, so I'ma wet ya. Coming to your house to douse it with the Molotov cocktail. I won't fail. Burn out your eyeballs and leave a note in braille. So what the fuck you gonna do? Yeah, I know I used to act relaxed, but now I'm cuckoo. Coming to my darkest, deepest thoughts. We fought, I won. And now you're caught and being tortured. Water pellets stripped up on your forehead. But you can't move because...
Wait a minute. Here we go. All right. Testing. Let me drink some water. That's some water. All right. I'm here. All right. Get the comment section. All right. Greetings, everyone. Greetings, fellow Americans. And I trust and I deliver this message to you all. All right. I'm going to be speaking about our own. Well, first of all, let me introduce myself. Good evening. I'm your host, the Intellectual Lord Benjamin Manhattan. This is Supreme American TV. And tonight I'm going to be speaking about our own independent American Indigenous, non-African, non-Native culture. Our own independent American Indigenous, non-African, non-Native culture. Right? That's what it is tonight. And I want everybody to, tap in. Greetings to all the bronze men and bronze women out there. Right? And make sure everything is together. I'm not going to be on here too long. Oh, boy. Had a hell of a day. All right. Yeah, for those of y'all who can't see, this is a jersey I had made. I'm backing it up a little bit. It's a jersey I had made. Lordsman. All right. Check out the jersey. Y'all like that? All right. So, all right. All right. I was inspired to do this. Topic because of all of the comments and all of the fire that I was been getting on TikTok. A lot of good responses. I spoke about more than just the American Indigenous thing. I spoke about a lot of what I consider to be experimental stuff. I spoke about a lot of experimental thought concerning who we are as a species, as a race, more than just the indigenous stuff. But somehow people found the indigenous stuff and started attacking. I got a lot of Pan-Africans. Definitely got a whole lot of natives, Native Americans. I got a little bit of everybody, right? Who've been coming up and saying stuff and had so much to say. And I don't care. I really don't care what people got to say. Again, I speak about more than just our American indigenous heritage. I speak about this as a race. I'm talking about as a species, as a life force, as a race of soul people. I speak about a lot of things. And again, it always comes back to the indigenous thing. I had the Native Americans come up here and accuse me of trying to appropriate Native American culture, which we are not. I am not trying to appropriate any Native American culture. Don't want to appropriate any Native American culture. Don't want to go to no powwows. Don't want to dance around and call myself running dog, swinging cow, saber-toothed tiger. I don't want it. We're not doing that. I got a real American indigenous name. My name is Benjamin Manhattan. I have a real American indigenous name. You see, real. A real American indigenous name. Why? Because it came from an American indigenous man, myself. So anything that comes from American indigenous people is in fact American indigenous. It is in fact American indigenous. Anything that comes from indigenous people is in fact American indigenous, by nature. Again, because we are American indigenous. We are the indigenous people of South America, South America, Central America, North America, Canada, all of the Americas, we are indigenous to so-called Black people. Okay. And I stood on this. There's been plenty of documents, plenty of proof that come forward that we were already here in America as indigenous people way before there was some so-called African slave trade, which is being debunked every day. All the numbers, all the fake numbers, all the reclassification. Because again, nobody's been reclassified more than our people. Nobody's been reclassified more. We're the most reclassified people since I don't know when. Nobody's ever reclassified. We've been reclassified like at least 10 or 15 times. From Indian to Negro to colored to mulatto to to eventually to Black and then to African American in 1988. But people forget that we started off being called Indians here before the government started renaming us as Negroes. Negroes is not a terminology that is used for Africans. Okay. Negro is not a terminology used for Africans. Negro is a terminology that was used for the indigenous peoples of America, the so-called Black people, the bronze copper colored people who were found here by the Europeans in when they came over. That's in the 1828 Merriam-Webster dictionary. What an American is. It's not talking about no red natives. It's not talking about them. It's talking about the bronze copper colored people, the first people, the original people of this land. And I was going on with somebody on, of course, because of course they call me African. Everybody claim I'm an African. I've been being 50,000 Africans. And I said this on the channel. I said, on TikTok, I said, Africa is a continent, not a country. Africa is a continent, not a country, a continent that holds 54 countries, right? So to say somebody is African is very vague. It is not vivid. When people say we got African DNA, even like I tried to, I was looking at that thing with Tariq Nasheed talking about we got African DNA. I'm like, but you got 54 different countries in Africa and you got all kinds of genetic material, so-called African genetic material. You got all kinds of people in Africa. I'm talking about so-called Black people in Africa. So how do you narrow down, you African, when you can't specifically say from where in Africa? That's like saying somebody's European. They're going to be like French, German, Italian. That's too broad to say we African. If you cannot point to exactly where we are, no more guesses, no more take a DNA test. Y'all Weibos. Because again, no matter what you do, again, we don't have to do anything. We don't have to prove anything. The same way the so-called Native Americans feel they don't got to take a DNA test to prove that they're not Siberians. They don't feel they got to take a DNA test to prove that they're not Asians. They don't feel they got to do that. So why do we have to take a test to prove that we're not African when you could clearly see that we're not? Just having dark skin don't make you African. Having dark skin and woolly hair don't make you African. They call us an Afro. They talk about we got Afro hair. Yeah, I had some idiots say that to me on TikTok. I'm like, don't you know that the word Afro, that wasn't the real hair? That was the name of the hairstyle. That was a name that was picked up during the whole Pan-African, craze that was going on in the 60s. And they just decided to call our hair Afros. That has nothing to do with Africa. The word Afro, they tried to, because again, that was the Pan-African movement. And let me just say something. Pan-Africanism has nothing to do with Africa. Let me say this one more time. Pan-Africanism has nothing to do with Africa at all. Because if you ask a lot of the Africans about Pan-Africanism and the stuff that's supposed to be African, the stuff that was created here in America by a lot of these Boule Sambos, right? A lot of these Boule Sambos, along with the help with some the backing of some small hats, right? Created this whole Pan-African thing. It's really some pseudo-African thing because, again, Africa is a continent, not a country. So there's no such thing as an African culture. There's no such thing as Pan-African. That's like saying Pan-Europeanism. We don't belong to a continent. We're supposed to belong to a country. Okay? We're supposed to belong to a country, not a continent. And this is why I say that the lie was told to discourage our people, the real North American Indians, because that's technically what we are. Black Americans over here in North America are North American Indians. We are North American indigenous people of the land. And I said this on TikTok. I said, you know how you know that's true? It's true because look at all the pushback we get. You see? Look at all the I call it the Amfros. Because this hairstyle, our hairstyle was actually named here in America. This is actually an American hairstyle. When you see our people with their hair out, that's why I call them Amfros. I call them Amfros, American fros, Amfros. They're not Afros because Afros is what you call them. Our hair is not indigenous to Africa. You might see some people with our hair in Africa, but the real Africans, they don't really even grow hair. They got the little peppercorns, you say. So when you see our hair there, that's people that's mixed in with us. This hair is only indigenous to us. It's only connected to us. Just like American is only really connected to us, right? Our homeland is America. Everybody else came from someplace else. That's why I had to do this topic today, talking about our own American indigenous, non-African, non-native culture, because I'm sick and tired of hearing people trying to connect us to Africa by calling us African Americans, which we are not, or trying to connect us to Native American culture when we coming up saying that we American Indians. When we saying we American Indians or American indigenous people try to link us to Native Americans, which is not the same thing. I said this before, the indigenous people are people who are here in America already, and you got the Native people who came from elsewhere, Siberia and Asia, and crossed over the Bering Straits. Also, they got here through the slave trade in which the Euro-Spanish conducted. That's how they got into America. So when you hear them say that about our people, when you hear them claiming that our people are, Wabos and all these other things like that, again, they can't really say that because we're not trying to be them. We're not trying to be them. In actuality, they've been trying to be us. From the time they put feathers on their head, from the time the European Spanish brought them over from Asia. I'm talking about from China, from Japan, from Vietnam, all these places. From the time they were brought over here, from even as far as India, from the time they were brought over here, not India, but Hindustan, from the time in which they were brought over from Hindustan, that was basically showing, when they were brought into the Americas by the Spanish, they just started adopting the indigenous culture, which was black culture, the so-called black people. They started and I'm using black so y'all understand. They started, taking on the indigenous culture of our people, the real American Indians, the real people of this land, the first people of this land. Now these people today are trying to say that they are the ancient people, that they the original people, because they're trying to line up their genotype and phenotype with the indigenous people. And I said on TikTok, I said that, I said, y'all may share some of the features of the indigenous people because y'all mixed in with those people. When the Asians came over, they mixed in with the indigenous black population, the indigenous so-called black population, bronze skinned people. They mixed in with us, and they took on our features over time. As certain features they took on, because and show you how phony they are, right? They'll put themselves next to the indigenous people features, but you could get a bronze person right now, so-called black person, and put them next to them same people, and they look more like like I said, my wife, Amandea, she got the face of those people. It's people in our community that got those faces like that. We don't, in fact, we don't put our faces up next to the indigenous Mesoamericans, and we look more like them than these people who call themselves Native Americans, or the people that's in Mexico today claiming they the Mayans, they the descendants of the Mayans. And I say, y'all are descendants of the Mayans, but because you're Asian, that makes you half breeds. Y'all not full Mayan, you're not full Aztec, you're not full Mesoamerican, because you're not full black. The black people are the indigenous people. We are the Mesoamericans. We are the American Indians. We are the original people of this land. And again, they want to call us African because not because they got any real scholarship on whether we're African or not because you know, they feel as though we're taking something from them. They feel like their culture that they've known for this time is under attack. And they've been given this culture, they've been allowed to have this culture because when they were brought in from Asia into America, they assimilated into the culture. Like, for example, when people come over here from places like, you know, Latin America, when they come over from Mexico, Puerto Rico, people like that, a lot of times they start copying us, the indigenous people here. They start copying so-called black people. They start listening to rap music, right, which is our music. They start talking like us. They use the N-word more than we use the N-word, a lot of them. They start trying to throw up signs, do all this stuff that's attributed to so-called black people. You see, they don't come over here, you know, representing their culture. The ones who come over, they start trying to talk like us, you know, listen to our music, and they appropriate our culture. Now, you let time pass, you'll start thinking that it's their culture. I'm gonna give you a perfect example of this. Somebody was doing a documentary on the phrase lowrider, on the, you know, the lowriders, the cars from Los Angeles, the lowriders. Now, people would think the term lowrider comes from Mexicans. They would think the term lowrider comes from Mexicans, right? Because you always hear the cholos and chinos and all the time about lowrider, and they always playing that song by War, Lowrider. There's a song called Lowrider by War, the group War. You would think that this is a Mexican group. War is a group of so-called black people, black men, indigenous bronze men. Matter of fact, one of the guys who was in the group War, I think his name is Noah. No, I forget what his name is, but I used to work with his son years ago. When we was in Georgia, I was living in Georgia, in Athens. I used to work with his son in a job years ago. One of the guys who, he's biracial though, but his father is black. He's from so-called black man, California. I think they were from California, but Mexicans have appropriated that culture. They have appropriated the lowrider culture. They'll act like the term lowrider came from them, and it came from a so-called black woman. The sister was up talking about that. I saw an interview concerning that with the lowriders. So the term lowrider and that whole lowrider culture came from black people, black indigenous American people. But they'll swear up and down now, oh no, you wobble. They'll swear, they'll take our culture that we leave behind certain things, and then they'll appropriate it and then act like it came from them. Let enough time pass, just like how the whole thing with the blacks and Latinos created hip hop. Well, we know that's not true. We know that's not true. Ain't no black and Latino create no hip hop, or no, it was just so-called black Americans, not even blacks from the West Indies. They came in later, but the people, the foundation of it, and the people were still the premier people in the art form of rap and hip hop is so-called black people, so-called black Americans, the indigenous people, the real American Indians. And it makes all the sense in the world. It makes all the sense in the world if you think about it, that everybody follows our culture because, you know, indigenous people are the culture. The indigenous people are the culture, right? Everybody when you follow the indigenous people, you following the first people. You see, you following the people who got the music, because our music dominates America. All of our music dominates America. You see, Somebody said, yeah, all of it. Our music dominates America. Our food, you see, dominates America. Our hairstyles, people was cutting their hair, even with these fades on the side, need to be a haircut. But even with these fades on the side, my hair growing out, even with these fades and things on the side, that came from the indigenous people, bronze people. It didn't come from none of these people who claiming our stuff, again, because we the original people of this land. And we need our own, well, we already got our own independent culture. I said we already got our own independent culture, our own independent soul culture. So I'm hearing the term soulian. We got our own culture that is independent of Africa, independent of Native American. It is ours, our own American indigenous culture. So when I wish people would stop saying to me, oh, you trying to be Native American. No, we're not trying to be Native American. Native Americans are immigrants. We're not immigrants. Black, so-called Black Americans, bronze, copper-colored people are not immigrants in this land. Nobody brought us from no Africa on no slave ships. That's a lie. We was always here in America, always. From Mesoamerica all the way up into modern day America. We've never gone any place other than America. We've always been here in America. That's why our culture dominates American culture. Everybody wants to be like Black Americans. Everybody wants to listen to our music, copy our music. Because I asked the Native Americans, the so-called natives, where's your music at? If y'all say y'all indigenous to America, you're the first people here in America, and you say you was never in captivity. If you saying that, then why doesn't your culture dominate American culture? What is your culture? Where's your music? How come we don't know Native American music? These people were never in bondage. We were in bondage. So you would think people wouldn't know our music, if anything. Why doesn't the world know what their music is? Why don't you know what a Native American name is? And I'm not talking about no nicknames, no saber-tooth tiger, no bear claw. Those are nicknames. What is your indigenous, so-called indigenous names? They got a lot. I hear a lot of Mexican names. I hear a lot of European names. In fact, I brought it out that one of the heads of the Cherokee Nation at one time was a white man, but they'll say he's native. He's like a straight up white man, and he got a white man name. You see, brought that out last time. So why isn't it that nobody's saying these people are wannabes? Because everybody who copies so-called Black culture is a wannabe. If you done did rock and roll, if you done did jazz, if you done did R&B, if you done did any kind of soul music, hip hop, rap music, country music, right? Blues, all of that. You see, what did I miss? The only thing that came from white people was heavy metal. That's the only thing that literally came from white people was heavy metal. That was creation unto their own, and y'all could keep that. We don't want that. We didn't want no goddamn heavy metal. That's the only thing that came from them was heavy metal. And even the guitar in heavy metal was influenced by Jimi Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix is the influencer of all the rock guitars, all that screaming guitar. That's Jimi Hendrix all day. Jimi Hendrix is the father of rock music, hard rock. So again, country music is ours as well. All that's our music. So I asked these people, where's your music at? Where's your food at? Where's your food at? What's the Native American food? Do anybody know any Native American food? How come the Native Americans don't open up no restaurants and display their Native American cuisine? What's some Native American food? Anybody know what's Native American food? We know what Black American food is, don't we? Fried chicken, and don't say it came from no Scotland. It did not. That's a lie. Fried chicken, right? Ribs, all that stuff. You know what they call it, soul food. Discard the pork though. We don't eat the pork. But all that stuff, like I said, you see the cookout food and stuff like that. That comes from so-called Black people, man. You know, we got Black, so-called Black American. I'm not even gonna use that term just so y'all understand. But we got American indigenous cuisine. We got cuisine that was here that we were eating, foods that we were eating, turkey wings and all this other stuff. I've never seen. You would think that the so-called Native Americans would have their own restaurants, right? They get enough money from the government. They got their own reservations, which a lot of them are toe up. right? But they got their own reservations, and they get money from the government. They get support from the government. Yeah, I've never seen a Native American restaurant. You would think that since these people are indigenous, you would think that you would see a Native American restaurant, one or two. I've never seen one in my life. I wonder why that is. What's their language? Every time I turn around, I hear them speaking English. What's their language? Again, what's their names? I hear English names, I hear Spanish names. What's their real indigenous name? And again, these people said it was never in bondage, so they should have they should have their culture intact. Their culture should dominate America if they're indigenous, but it doesn't. How is it that a bunch of people that's supposed to be African that haven't been, because according to how they tell the story, we're the youngest people in America. According to how they tell the story, remember, first it's the natives, according to them. You see, first it's the natives, right? First they was here according to the story. First it's the natives, then came the white man, and then the white man went and got us from Africa and brought us here into America. So again, according to what they're saying, we are not indigenous to America. According to what they're saying, we're not indigenous to America. We got brought into America on slave ships. So we got brought to America on slave ships and chains. Then how the hell is it that our culture dominates American culture? How? White culture don't dominate American culture. It don't, because there's no white culture. What is the white culture here? What is the white culture? Anybody know what the white culture here is? You see, what is the white culture here? I would like to know. Anybody know what the white culture here is? There's no white culture in America. You see, if you know, there's no native culture here. None. People dancing around and having powwows and whatnot and having little private ceremonies. Yeah, that's your own little private, your little, what you calling, that's your little, that's your Native American rituals that you developed over time amongst your people. But, and if you want to call it a culture amongst your people, that's fine. But real culture dominates places and things like that. Real culture dominates. Real culture influences people. We have not been influenced by no Native American culture. They try and lie to them. Oh, yeah, Native American culture. No way, no Native American culture influenced nothing. Black American culture, the real American indigenous culture influenced everything from our music that y'all try to claim. Because it was one, they was going around saying that jazz was influenced by Native Americans. Because whenever we create something popular, all of a sudden they all lives matter and everybody get to use our stuff. But then when they do something, oh, why are you trying to be our music? Why are you trying to use our music? These are the same people. Like, I'll give you a good example. Is I'm sitting on TikTok and these natives, these racist ass natives, because they racist just like the white man. But I'm gonna get on that in a second. They sitting up here calling me a wabo, but they dissing me and they playing rap music. Who's the real wabo? You sitting up here playing rap music and you trying to diss me playing my people's music. Black American music, American indigenous music that was born and bred here in America. Where's y'all music at? Don't play no rap music. Stop playing rap music. That's wabo music. That's nigga music. Okay? Don't play no wabo music. Don't try to talk like us. There was one guy that called himself Breezy. You trying to talk like blonde. You're trying to even have nicknames like bronze people, like so-called black people. Don't talk like us. Let me get a couple more. Cold, hot, cold. You see? Don't try to be us. Because you saying you ain't trying to be us, but y'all ain't got no other choice. We are our culture, Black American culture, which is not African. That's why I gotta tell y'all we gotta stop with this. We come from Africa nonsense. We have our own independent American culture. We have our own independent American culture. Okay. Now you look back at the Mesoamericans. We go back to the Mesoamericans. We go back to the Olmecs, the Aztec, the Inca, the Mayan. Let me show you something, because they'll say that they got the features. A lot of these people call themselves Mayans today. They're the modern day Mayans. They're the people that were brought over from Asia, and they mixed in with the indigenous people. That's why they got off some of our features, and they said some of them got our skin, some of them. But one, because a lot of mixing was going on in Mexico, because they'll still swear up and down that Mexico was never a slave colony. Yes, it was. Mexico was so a slave colony, and its colonies, the slave colony, it was a slave colony because the Spanish used it to bring Asians over there. That's how they got into America. That's why if you look at the modern day, Native Americans, they got an Asian look to them. So I said, because this guy put up images of a bone and park temple. He made a video, and you see all the indigenous black people on the damn wall. You can clearly see dark skin, and they don't have Asian features. They don't have Asian features. So then he's starting to show he tries to put the modern day wannabe natives, the modern wannabe indigenous people next to them, the people who've been mixed out with the Asian stock, with the Asian, and you could clearly see it as a different people. You could clearly see it. They going by, oh, see, we got the noses. Yeah, you got our noses. You got our noses. Yeah, that's what you got, our noses. You can clearly see that these people are an admixture. They got Asian in them, but they don't want to admit that they're Asian. But they also won't take a DNA test to prove whether or not they're indigenous. So next time they hit you with the Weibo, you tell them, hey, look here, you native Weibos. When you going to take a damn DNA test to prove that you're indigenous? Because right now we see y'all as what you are, Siberians, Asians, Asiatic people. But they want to deny their Asian heritage. So I always hit them with, when they ask me why am I shaming my African heritage, I said, I don't know. I don't got no African heritage. Why you shaming your Asian heritage? Because we can point to where y'all come from in Asia. You can't point to where we come from in Africa. Saying we African don't mean nothing. That's a continent. You got to be more specific. And if you can't be specific, it's because you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You're just saying stuff. So that's why, like I said, we making it clear again, we're not trying to be Native Americans. We don't want to copy you. We don't want to be in your tribes. We don't want to join none of your groups. And again, respect to the Native Americans. I don't have no problem with them. I don't have any beef with them. And one of the guys on the Native American guy said, we don't have no problem with you. And I said, I don't got no problem with y'all. But your racist ones who probably 9 times out of 10 ain't even part of no tribes or none of that. They just hate the fact that we claiming our true heritage as American Indians. Because I asked the question before. The government acknowledges 5 civilized tribes, right? They acknowledge 5 civilized tribes. What happened to all the other tribes? What happened to all the other tribes? They literally got, some guy put up an image of an old slave advertisement where they were selling slaves. And he's like, yeah, somebody put Gambia on there, right? And I'm like, okay, if they Gambian, because you do know when you see a lot of that, they was trying to call all people African later. They was trying to link us to Africa because at one point in time, they passed a law where you couldn't enslave indigenous people. So they start trying to change us over into African and trying to call us African, claim they imported us from Africa. But then you had a lot of people went to court. A lot of bronze people went to court. The slaves went to court. And they was able to get out of slavery. Look this up. They was able to get out of slavery because they proved they was indigenous Americans. They was real Indians. And they wasn't mixed with no Asian look. Because y'all look as Asian. Because I asked them, I said, how is it, if y'all claim y'all the people on the wall in the Bone and Park Temple, how come they don't look Asian and y'all do? How come they darker than y'all? Stop pointing to the nose, because anybody can have the nose. Because they sit up here and they'll say, oh, see, these are all features. I said, well, what about the Olmecs? Oh, that's all features too. Okay, so those broad noses are yours, the thick lips are yours. So we ain't got no features then. They all your features. Man, we got people that got all kinds of features. What they think we all got flat noses and thick lips. And even when we claim that we got broad, when we say, okay, well, that's how the Olmecs look. Oh, that ain't y'all features neither. Oh, what about the braids? They got their hair braid. Oh, see, we got braids and dreads. No, you don't. You're trying to copy the original people. You're not the original people. That's like, what, like I said, that's like the Arabs that are over in Egypt now. It's like the Arabs that are over in Egypt now who are trying to claim that they're the ancient Egyptians. You see, because they over there, they knew booty over there. They pretty much knew, but they trying to act like they did. Here it is. You got these black people. I'm gonna just use the term black because that's what y'all know. You got these black people on the damn walls with afros, braids and all kind of other stuff, and they're gonna say that's them. You talk about delusional. Same thing with that's the same thing they do with these people who call themselves the Mesoamericans today, which are really just Mexicans, which again, there was no Mexicans until 1521. Okay. That the Mexicans came from the mixture of Asians with the indigenous black population that was there, the people and the white Spanish. That's where your Mexicans are. They are a mixture, more Asian. They got some of us in there, and they got some white. That's why you got white Mexicans, because those are literally, they're more linked to Spain. Like that guy Canelo that fought Terrence Crawford. They call him a white Mexican. He's Spanish. He's linked more to Europe. He's linked more to Euro Spanish. You see? My point is, they're not the original people of Mexico. The original people of Mexico are black people. I'm gonna just say it like that. The original people of Mexico are so-called black people. I'm gonna say so-called just so you know, so we stay on the topic, which is the bronze copper colored races. That's the original people of Mexico. And you can see that on the bone and punk temples. And for them to try and lie, because they had even more pictures that they didn't show you, where these people are undeniably, you see, where these people are undeniably, yeah, Amfro. Yeah, bro, I started the Amfro. If you hear the word Amfro, the American fro, that's what our hair is. We got Amfros. I started that. Okay? When you hear, if anybody's, I want that to catch you on Amfro. We ain't got no Afro. We got Amfros, American fros, because our hair is American. Our hair is not African. Our hair is American. Because the Africans, they don't even really grow hair. The real Africans don't grow hair. They got the little peppercorns. Y'all know what I'm talking about, the BB buckshots. We don't got that. We actually grow hair out and up. So when you see people in Africa with our type of hair, that's because they mixed in with us. Africans do not grow hair. They do not. If you see Africans with hair, it's because they mixed in with us. Okay? Same thing with the so-called Native Americans. I'm not going to call them so-called because they are Native Americans. I'm not going to take that from them. But Native don't mean indigenous. Native is not indigenous. Your so-called your Native Americans, they do got the hair of Asians. They can't explain that though. They can't explain how they got the hair of Asians. How they got hair like Asians if they supposedly indigenous to America and they got their own. Why won't they take a DNA test to prove that they're not Siberian Asians? Why won't they take a DNA test to prove they're not Asiatics? You see, they're not going to do that, but they'll sit up here and tell us we need to take a DNA test. Did you tell that white man who's the head of the Cherokee Nation? What's his name? Bill, what's this guy's name? I got to look him up. I forgot his name again. Did you tell that white man, Bill Allen, whatever his name, Bill Allen Baker? Did you tell him to take a DNA test? That white man who was the head of the Cherokee Nation, y'all tell him to take a DNA test? A brother was showing, I reposted that brother's video. I think I reposted because I'm not really good with TikTok. You know, my wife, shout out to my wife, Enra Amandea, does all my production and whatnot. But I gotta mention my lovely wife and my other lovely wife, Enra Quintessa, who, you know, because again, we're a team effort here, man. We all work together. We're a team effort. Both my lovely wife. I got two wives. Yeah, and one day I'm gonna have them both on camera. I got two wives. We live very harmoniously. We got our 5 children. You know, and we live good. We live it harmoniously. Everything's peaceful. You know, we getting our little spats. You know, we got in a little spat earlier, but it's all good. You know, that's men and women. But they're very instrumental in the production of the show and the behind the scenes things with our community. Which, by the way, this is why I say we need our own independent community. We need to stop with this African American stuff. Stop with this. Because again, I'm sick and tired of people trying to attribute our American indigenous culture to Native Americans, which it is not a part of Native American heritage, or trying to attribute to African. It is not African. We don't move like the Africans. We don't dance like them. We don't listen to the same kind of music. We don't move on the same rhythm with them. Now, we do have our people in Africa. We do have people living amongst the Africans, but as it stands, the real Africans, straight up Africans, they don't vibe with us. Again, it's no disrespect to them. They got their own culture. Our culture is different from African culture. That's why we need to stop with this African American nonsense. Tariq Nasheed, please stop telling that lie that there was some ethnogenesis. How many of y'all heard Tariq Nasheed? I'm gonna get on that and rip that to pieces. How many of y'all keep hearing that nonsense that we are ethnogenesis, that we are half African and half American indigenous, and how they brought African slaves over here and mixed in with the indigenous people, and that's how we came about? That's a lie. That's a lie. Because if that was true, Tariq Nasheed, you couldn't keep pointing out the differences between us and Africans. You point out our hairlines, which we got full hairlines, right? We got full-on hairlines, right? We got full-on indigenous hairlines. You point that out, that the Africans got janky hairlines, and you say that they got big foreheads. I ain't got no big forehead. We got our full-on hairlines, and we got things that are uniquely American indigenous that has nothing to do with Africa. We have our own American indigenous independent culture. So start referring to our people as American indigenous. That's what we are, American indigenous. You could put American first and indigenous in parentheses. We don't even use the term. Why I don't like the term American Indian. Why I don't like Indian is because Indian is a culture, right? Indian is a culture. Cultures come and go. We, just being indigenous in itself is a culture, because what that says is that we come from the land. We are indigenous to the land. Cultures come and go, but you can't remove the people from the land. They haven't been able to remove us from the land. All they did was change our classification. They took us from calling us Indians to calling us colored and Negro and all this other stuff to hide our true identity. So yeah, you know what? We do got our own American indigenous culture. We do got our own American indigenous culture, heritage, and thing, our own music, everything, our own everything. And it dominates America. That's the thing. It dominates America. Our music, our food, our dress, our slang, all that's American. All that's American. All homegrown American. All of it is homegrown American. Okay? So we have our own American culture, which means we need our own American community, our own American indigenous community. Notice the Native Americans, they wasn't calling themselves indigenous. Why? All of a sudden, they want to be indigenous when we start saying we American indigenous. Now, all of a sudden, we Wabos. Ain't y'all Native Americans? So why do you care if we claim an American Indian? That's not the same thing. Why do you care? That's how you know we're the real American Indians, that we hit on something, because look how bent out of shape they get. They don't got no problem with the white man claiming to be American Indian. No problem. A white boy could walk onto the reservation right now, onto the res, and say, "Hey, I'm one of your Indian, I'm one of your Native American brothers." You see, and his ass could have came from China. He could have came from somewhere in Europe, and he'll say, "I got it mixed in me," and they're not gonna question him. They're not questioning him. He could wear the feathered head crowns. He could join their ceremonies and everything. He could get one of their women. He could live on the reservation. Hell, they could be the head of the Cherokee Nation. Bill Allen Baker. Look up Bill Allen Baker, the head of the Cherokee Nation, or former head. That was a straight up white man. They ain't saying, "Hey, then why y'all?" And I thought the so-called white man, how is it that the so-called white man could be Native American? I thought the white man was the colonizer. I thought the so-called white man was the colonizer. I thought he took y'all land. Ain't that what they always say? The white man is the colonizer. He took their land. Right? Hey, lovely wife, can you please, if you're listening, lovely wife, could you please put up a picture of Rick Allen, the guy, Bill Allen Baker? If you can, I want everybody to see the head of the Cherokee Nation. I want my wife to put up a picture of the head of the Cherokee Nation. You say, I want my wife to put up the picture of the guy in the Cherokee Nation. Lovely wife. Because if y'all didn't see it on TikTok, I'm gonna go live on TikTok tomorrow, and I'm gonna probably do something along these lines, right? Because they say that the white man is the colonizer and all this other stuff. They call him the colonizer. Oh, he took their land and all that. Ain't that what they saying? Okay. Ain't that what they say? The white man is the colonizer. Ain't that what these natives say? Then how come the colonizer allowed to run your tribes? How come the colonizer able to come on and be the president of the Cherokee Nation? How come the white man able to get a damn card, a card saying he Native? They got a Native American. They got Native American cards. The white man got Native American cards. That brother exposed y'all, because see, y'all all the same, man. Y'all all in cahoots together. Don't believe that shit about what they talking about, the white man, he's a colonizer. Look, the white man could come on their land and claim to be native, and they're gonna accept him. You come up there, they're gonna start to, oh, you gotta take DNA tests, you gotta take blood quantum, you gotta take some DNA, you gotta prove that you wanted them. Man, the hell with y'all. And again, no disrespect to the Native Americans who ain't bugging out like that, who just ready to live there. Now, I don't got no problem with the Native Americans at all. What I do got a problem with is these racist Native Americans who keep coming on my page. I don't go on their page. I don't go looking to start nothing with them, but they come on my page. I'm all kind of Weibos and whatnot. And I ask them, well, why the white man in the Weibo? How come he ain't a Weibo? How come he ain't a colonizer? How come you want to point out that you call me an African, but you don't want to say the white man is a European? Lovely wife, could you put up that picture of Bill Allen Baker, please? My lovely wife, Amandea. The screws and bolts behind this production. Shout out to her. Shout out to my other wife, Quintessa. And Quintessa, which I'm going to bring her name up again because this is important that we have our own American Indigenous community. Listen, man, there's no black community, man. F this whole idea of a black community. There's no black community. There is no black community. We need our own American Indigenous community that's separate from these Pan-African goofballs who want to be African, that's separate from these so-called natives. Because again, you so-called black people that's going into these native reservations, you better be real careful, man. Stop trying to get down with these Native Americans, man. They not your people, man. We got our own American Indigenous culture, and you're going to start to see how racist these natives are. Y'all going to be forced to wake the hell up, man. You're going to be forced to wake the hell up and see that these natives are no different than the so-called white man. They lie just like the so-called racist white man. And again, I'm not saying all white people. I'm not saying all natives. I'm saying the racist ones. Because like I said, I don't do 100%. I give people the benefit of the doubt. I don't do 100%. I give people the benefit of the doubt. So I'm not going to say it's all of them, but it's enough for y'all that do that. Because why are you coming up on my page? I don't bother nobody. I don't make nothing dissing the Native Americans. I don't do that. I said, do y'all thing. Go ahead and rock. Go ahead and, do your little powwows and dances and wear your that's cool. But don't get mad when we put on our feathered head crowns. Again, it's been American Indigenous. It's been American Indigenous ceremonies going on since forever in New Orleans, right? And places Louisiana, New Orleans. I think it was doing something before. And, I'm seeing our people waking up to it. That's why I said we should be using this as a time of purification. We should be purifying ourselves with this knowledge of who we are as American Indigenous people. This is a step in the right direction. This is a step in the right direction. We should be purifying ourselves with the knowledge of who we are as American Indigenous people, not Native Americans, not Native Americans. So you Native Americans, please stop coming on my TikTok page and talking crap and calling me all kind of names. You keep calling me all kind of Africans all you want to. But again, that don't mean nothing. It doesn't bother me. Here this guy go. This is the head of Chief, what's his name? Chief Bill John Baker. This is the head of, this is why they don't want you to be American Indian. This is why they calling us Weibos, because they want the white man to be the head of the tribe. There you go. That's the head. What you're looking at is the head of the Cherokee Nation. That's the head of the Cherokee Nation. He's indigenous, huh? He's indigenous. Why you natives, they say, hey, white man, you $5 Indian, you Weibo, why are you trying to be like us? Why ain't they doing that? Why are they not calling this guy out? You can look him up. Chief, he's a chief. Chief Bill John Baker. Man, after this, they can't tell us nothing no more. Don't let them tell you nothing where your DNA test. Where his DNA test at? He got to take one? And where's his native name at? Why he got a white man name? Not only is he a white man, he got a white man name, a European name, but he get to be the head of the Cherokee Nation. You know what they're going to say? Oh, see, well, he got 1/8 of our Cherokee blood in him. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Now, if I said, hey, I got a percentage of Cherokee blood in me and whatnot. Oh, no, you too dark, Weibo. You too dark. You from Africa. Because they racist just like him. They rather him be a native chief than you. That's why they got to keep making us African so they can make a way for him. People like him. And let me tell you something, you native something. You can sit up here and keep bigging up Bill John Baker and all them other, the ones that you don't call Weibos, the ones who you don't demand no DNA test from them. You can keep on bigging them up because eventually they're going to get rid of y'all. They going to watch. I bet you. Watch, a lot of these natives going to be crying about the white man. Watch. Yeah, it's a whole white man. You can look him up. His name is Bill John Baker. Chief Bill John Baker. Man, they can't tell us nothing no more, man. Because if they ain't sitting up here telling the white man, get out of here, don't try to beat us, he'd probably be sitting on the sitting in their thing, beating on the drums and whatnot and everything. You see? But he get to be an indigenous. That's why I said, man, F them, man. The racist ones. We got our own thing over here as American indigenous people. And speaking of which, I want y'all to go down below and hit the link. We're about to start really big with this. Man, we got to have our own American Indigenous Street Music Festival, man. We got to have that. We about to do it again. We're doing it again next year in May 2026, the American Indigenous Street Music Festival in Atlanta, in ATL. You know, the home base of bronze people, the indigenous people, the whole America. But we're doing it again. We're doing it again. So we need your donations. Please go and hit the link down below and donate $20, at least $20. Stop with no $5, and we ain't no $5 Indians over here. We need at least 20 and better, man. $20 and better. Let's go, man. We having our own Indigenous Street Festival, man. We doing our own American. We did it last year. It was cool. We had a little, it was, basically getting our feet wet. We did decent turnout, but we want it to be bigger and better next year. We want it to be bigger and better. So please, please, please donate to the American Indigenous Street Music Festival. If everybody donate $20 and whatnot, $20, man, we be ahead. Like, you throw away $20 on nothing. You throw away $20 on nothing. Okay? You throw away $20 on nothing. You just give away $20. Put that $20 toward the reality of who we are, because it's a big thing when we're able to have our own American Indigenous Street Music Festival. Like I said, they tried to clown us. You had these simple ass Negroes that came out here, these pro-blacks. That's another one. These goofy Pan-African Negroes. Let me get on them. These guys try to come out there. These guys try to come out here and they try to they'll come up here. They also come up on my page on TikTok, and you African, bro, you African. Sometimes I think these niggas are bots, man. Be honest, I think they bots. But if they not so, and it's sad if it really is so-called black people talking stupid like this, because all of a sudden you gonna tell me where I'm from and I'm African, right? You gonna tell me I'm African because I got dark skin. I showed my son. You could clearly say he got a head full of hair. He got an indigenous bronze hairline. He got the indigenous bronze hairline like me. No combings, no sprays, no nothing. Got the indigenous bronze hairline and everything, right? And my son, same thing, my blood son, and they still up here calling us African. So no matter what we show, they telling us get a DNA test. Who the hell are y'all to tell us we need a DNA test? You don't gatekeep our indigenous culture. Y'all not indigenous. So who the hell are y'all to tell somebody to get a DNA test? Y'all get a DNA test. Y'all got to prove that y'all indigenous and not the Siberian Asians. But you know what? It's all coming out anyway. It's all coming out. Your racism is coming out. And then they had the nerve to show a picture of because this is how they show you how they figure you. You so-called black people sitting on the reservation with these people, y'all get the hell up off the reservation, man. Stop trying to be with them. They just like the so-called white man. Okay, they sit up here and they showed a picture, some video of a cow urinating on some Sudanese African head and gonna say that's our people. They're gonna say how many of y'all seen that picture where the cow is pissing on the head of a Sudanese African because they didn't have no water with the captain. They didn't have no water. It was a drought over there, so I don't know why they would think that cow piss would somehow and I'm like, the cow piss was real yellow. But then my thing is this: if y'all ain't got no water over there, how's the cow urinating? The cow got to drink water in order to urinate. So the guy got his head up under the cow, and the cow is pissing on his head, and they're gonna say that's our people. You see how racist they are? You see that? So we all the same. We all from, and it's always the worst of the worst stereotype. But if now we went to one of these, now I bet you if we go to one of these Native American reservations and see all the alcoholics and the dope fiends and all the tore up ass trailers that they live in, and we say, "Yeah, look at you people. You got the nerve to talk about us." You ever see a damn Native American? You ever see any of these Native American a lot of these reservations, and they got the nerve to talk about us? Really? Yeah. Did y'all see that? Did y'all see that? You know, did y'all see that? Go watch the videos. These people got more alcoholism, drug use, and things on their reservation, but they got the nerve to come here and talk about us. And y'all supposed to be these people. So where's your culture at? Where's your names at? Miss me with it. They mad because the truth is coming out. The real American Indians is coming up. The people who were deemed the uncivilized Indians are waking up, and we are becoming civilized through our own true heritage. We're no longer going to share no more culture with Africans. Okay, no more African culture, no more African nothing. We don't got no African genetics. That's a load of horse shit. Excuse my language, but it's horse shit. We don't got no African genetics. What is African genetics? We already know how the Africans look. So when they talk that lie that we part African, part Indian, that's some made up nonsense. We ain't had no damn ethnogenesis. That's a lie. A lot of y'all be trying to appease these Pan-African goofballs, man. And again, man, look, we're not going to sit up here as intelligent Americans, we're not going to sit up here and let ignorance guide us, man. We're not going to sit up here and call ourselves African because it makes certain people feel good that we claim in Africa so they can still feel safe to claim indigenous, because that's what the natives want to claim, indigenous, but natives are not indigenous. Why you think the government won't let y'all call yourself American Indians? Why you think that's? Because that's the government. They don't want you to call yourself American Indians. They'll call you. They decided to make you Native Americans, and that's not even y'all's real terminology. That come from the Caucasians. The Know Nothing Party in the 1800s, they called themselves nativists or Native Americans. They called themselves that, and they handed it to y'all in the 70s. Y'all didn't start being Native Americans till the 70s. They was half-ass calling you Indians, American Indian, but we already know that was a scam because they had people like Iron Eyes Cody, that wabo, that pretendian, who was actually an Italian, who was cosplaying an American Indian. Y'all didn't say nothing about him, or Sasheen Littlefeather. None of these people. None of these people. Why and he's supposed to be an Indian. Why his name Cody? Why is his name Cody? Fake Indian, Iron Eyes Cody, the Sicilian, Italian, the European, or Sasheen Littlefeather, the white woman. Her family blew her up. Littlefeather. That's y'all name. Why y'all? That's y'all indigenous name. Littlefeather. A bunch of nicknames. What's y'all language? What's your names? What's your music? See, that's when you got culture. You ain't got to look far to know what our names is, and we ain't attributing. Our culture is not connected to Africa. We got our own independent indigenous culture. Our own independent American indigenous culture, from our music, which is all music, except for heavy metal. You white boys, y'all can have that. And yeah, everything else, that's ours. The majority of the inventions here, the instrumental part of inventions here in America came from our people. So a lot of stuff we're gonna bring out. So I'm about to wrap this up. So I got here a little loud. Supposed to start at 6. So go please and hit the links down below. The American Indigenous Street and Music Festival 2026. We're gonna be doing it in May. We want everybody to come out. Let's celebrate our American indigenous heritage. No Africans, no Native Americans, only American indigenous, our own American indigenous culture. So come on out. We're going to celebrate again, put our real feathered head crowns on, the ones that stand up. We're going to celebrate our American indigenous culture. It's about that time, man. Celebrate who we are as bronze people, as bronze copper colored people, the real Americans of this land. Also, join the Republic of America. The first real American indigenous community, the real American indigenous community. Go and join the Republic of America, the real American indigenous community. ROA worldwide. ROA worldwide. See, when you tap it in, Sister Enra Quintessa, Manhattan, my lovely wife and assistant. She will handle your intake. We need our own American Indigenous community, man. We need our own American Indigenous community, and this is it. This is it. We need our own American Indigenous community, and this is it. No more people lying to us. No more BS, Pan-African BS. No more, oh, we African. No more. No more. No more people trying to see. And this is the whole thing where you got people up here. You know why people are able to claim and steal our music, steal our inventions, steal our culture, steal pieces of our culture? You know why people are able to do that? Because we sitting up here calling ourselves black people. We sitting up here calling ourselves black people. Black people is a term of erasure. It is not a race. It's an erasure. It's a term of erasure. And we call anything black, you basically blacking out everything that was before the term black. So that's what they did when they got us to call ourselves Negroes, blacks, and all that, to black out our American Indigenous heritage. So that's all. Again, go down below, join the Republic of America, ROA Worldwide. Join the Republic of America, ROA Worldwide. Sister Enra Quintessa Manhattan is going to be take care of that. Also, stuff is coming. Go check out my wife, Enra Amendea Manhattan. She's doing stuff on TikTok as well. Plus, like I said, she's instrumental in helping me with the putting together this, and they're both instrumental in helping with the street festival. Women are very, very integral part of our community. Women, American Indigenous women, that's what we call our women, bronze women. Bronze women are a very integral part of our community. You know, not just the bronze men, but the bronze women as well. So join the ROA. If you're ready to come up out of blackness, if you're ready to have a life after blackness, and we can have our own real heritage and culture as American Indigenous people, or just Americans by nationality, join ROA Worldwide, become a registered American in the Republic of America, support our American Indigenous community, because there is no black community. The black community is controlled by white people. I'm gonna just say by certain people. The black community is controlled by certain people that's not our people. So-called, now I ain't gonna get it. You already know who I'm talking about. The small hat people, they control your black communities. So, subscribe to also my Mentellect Patreon. Join Mentellect Patreon, become a patron of Mentellect Patreon. Only $15 a month. I say things on there. I talk about more than just our American Indigenous heritage. I give way more than that. So I do a broadcast every night on StreamYard, and we upload it to a Mentellect Patreon for the people to hear the next day. So check that out on Mentellect Patreon. It's MENTELLECT. You can see it down below on the link, Mentellect Patreon, to see the things I talk about there that I can't speak on. And also check out our sister Enra Vanzetta's American Indigenous channel, the American Indigenous channel, where she gives good takes on American Indigenous history and things that went on in America, the real truth. You know, she getting her numbers up. And check out Draconian Rules. Also, Lord Manhattan is coming very soon from lordmanhattan.com. They're gonna like a lot of upscale leisure wear that we're about to come with. I like the Lordsman jersey, Lordsman, number 24. Nice started basketball team, Lordsman. But that's it. All right. So I want to thank you all for allowing me to edify you with the truth of who we are as American Indigenous people, the almond race and all that. You know, talked about that last time. I'll be on TikTok tomorrow. So come check me out. And that's it. I'm going to close this out in the name of Amen, by the power of Amen. And Amen we trust, and Amen we think, and Amen we continue forward forever. I'm going to play some music. I know, man, listen, I play a lot of copyright music because I don't really care. This channel's not monetized. And I'm going to start putting in the description, but eventually I'm going to start playing my own music and whatnot. But I play the music because I love the music. And, you know, it's, you know, I'm just love showcasing American Indigenous music. This is American Indigenous music. Black music is so-called Black American music is American Indigenous music. And that's it. Good night.
dash, I had to break, I had to get away. Pack my bags to leave for good. It was a Monday. Kissed my mother, gave my pops a pound. Then he hugged me, and then he turned around. I threw the duffel bag over my shoulder. It was time to get props, kid, cause now I'm older. Time to fend for myself, Jack. So I'ma go for mine and maybe never come back. Stopped at the last spot before I hit the train station. Needed some room for the mental relaxation. It took the last of my loot to make this move true. But I ain't even trying to work in a suit. Plus my aunt's got a room that's for rent. As long as there's no hoes and I don't come home bent. So fuck the bullshit, I'm out. I'm on a mission. Cause if I stay, I'll go crazy. I'm gonna make it, goddammit. Out in B-R-double-O-K, Lynn, the planet. They never fake it, just slam it. Out in B-R-O-O-K, Lynn, the planet. The planet. To hang at four corners and all the spots in Beantown where niggas carry burners. But I was more turned on by the microphone, so one cold morning I left home. Next I'm smoking blunts on Van Sickling. I'm working in a mailroom uptown, feeling sick and tired of paying all these fucked up dues. I wasn't trying to lose, I refused. Had a chick uptown, one in Queens and one in Jersey. Sometimes all you need to get by is a girlie. But yo, I still wasn't happy. I seen a lot of ill shit on my block happen nightly. East New York is no joke, kid. And peace to my man Haas doing his bid. I went to Flappers to buy incense and weed. Stopped at the book stands for something to read. And shit was rough cause my pockets was bare. And like the saying goes, sometimes life ain't fair. But in my heart there ain't no quitting. So I stayed up late to write some rhymes to some rhythms. Seconds away from just flipping. But fuck it, I'll maintain. One day I'll be hidden. See, I'ma make it, goddammit. Out in B-R-double-O-K, Lynn, the planet. I'll never fake it, just slam it. Here in B-R-O-O-K, Lynn, the planet. The planet. And you can walk the walk, talk the talk, but don't front. This little shorty scheming on your rings and fronts, but don't sweat it. Cause it's the life out here. A lot of niggas be living real trife out here. I got my own place in Bed-Stuy, known to many others as do or die. Malcolm X Boulevard and Gates Avenue, smoking up the fat tray bags with the crew. Me and the niggas Troy and Squeaky used to twist Dutch Masters. We got nice weekly. I used to build with the brothers by the spot. They had to hustle, but they still knew a lot. To get my haircut, had to go to Fort Greene or Murder Lab to get a fade with the sides clean. Then to Fulton just to look around, just to roam around and find a chick to go uptown and check a movie or some shit like that. I couldn't spend much, but yo, my game was fat. I remember this one chick, she bought me a beeper. Then 1 week later, she got me some sneakers, but then I stepped. Cause I found out about her rep, and I ain't going out being no bitch's pet. But anyway, I used to lay up in the crib, listening to Red and Marley, wishing I was on, kid. Saved my dough, stayed on the down low, lounged and drank 40s with Tommy Hill and Gusmo. And Little Dap used to come by strap, nice off of L, cause we stayed like that. Sometimes I used to miss my moms. Gunshots in the twilight, people fighting every night. But I'ma be alright still. Cause I'ma keep writing shit and perfecting my skills. I'm gonna make it, goddammit. Here in B-R-double-O-K, Lynn, the planet. I never fake it, just slam it. Here in B-R-O-O-K, Lynn, the planet.